It is so hot right now. So my name is Masha, I make bracelets and I have a whole channel dedicated to that. And today we're going to talk about bracelet would you rathers. So I asked you guys on Instagram to submit some would you rather questions, and you should follow me on Instagram if you want to take part in future videos like this, and also just look at pretty bracelets because I post that a lot. And you guys did! So today I posted some of those questions on my story to see what you guys think about all of this. I have these questions up on my notes app in my phone, so I'm not actually looking at the results of the polls before I answer the questions. So I'm going to answer these questions how I would answer them, and then I'm going to look at what you guys said to see if our answers match. So the first question is, would you rather stop making bracelets altogether or only make one pattern? And to be honest, I think that this one is super easy. I would definitely choose only make one pattern because there is so much you can do with one pattern. And by that I mean you can use so many different colors, different textures of thread, different varieties as in like multicolored, metallic, sparkly, I don't know, thick, thin, so many different types of threads, and you can try like wax cords, and basically what I'm saying is there is a lot of different variety of materials that you can make this pattern in, and making one pattern is much better than making nothing at all. So I would definitely choose the one pattern, and if I'm gonna guess, I believe you guys answered the same thing, so let's check. Now it's only been a couple of hours since I actually asked the questions because I suck at planning, so not a lot of you guys have answered it yet, but out of those of you that did, 77% of you did say that you would rather only make one pattern. And as of right now, as I said, not many of you guys have actually answered it, but as of right now it is 1,121 versus 337, so that's a pretty big difference. Alright, the next one is, would you rather give up sparkly thread or multicolored thread? This one is hard. This one is hard because I love a good multicolored thread, and I love multicolored threads specifically used in patterns which have like bordered outlines. So I'd like to make a black outline, a white outline, and then a multicolored thread in between for the design. But I also really like sparkly threads, and I actually like combining sparkly threads with multicolored ones. So I could make a black sparkly outline and then a multicolored thread in the center. Or this bracelet that I did, I'll leave the pattern in the description. There's sort of a salmon colored sparkly outline and then a sort of salmon colored multicolored thread in the center. I really like that bracelet. But also sparkly thread can be used in bracelets where you just want like a tiny bit of extra oomph, but you don't want it to go all out. And also sparkly threads are great in alphas for like backgrounds and stuff, but multicolored ones are also great in alphas. I really don't know. I really wouldn't want to give up either of them because I love both of them a lot, but just based on the fact of how many of each I have way more sparkly than I have multicolored. So I'm gonna lean towards giving up multicolored, even though that pains me because I love multicolored. So let's see what you guys answered. I think I'm probably not going to be on the popular side here. I think people like multicolored more than they like sparkly, but let's see. Alright, so yeah, I was right. People prefer to give up sparkly by a way bigger margin than I thought it would be. I thought it would be something like maybe 55% or like 60%, but it's 71 for 29 at this point, with 1,117 versus 465 as of right now, and it's about 2 hours later. I mean, I wasn't surprised that you guys prefer multicolored, but I am surprised by how much. 70%, really? Alright. Okay, next question is, would you rather leave a mistake in your bracelet or spend 30 minutes untying it? And I think for me it depends on a lot of things. Who am I making the bracelet for? If I'm making it for someone else, whether that be a trade or like a giveaway, a competition, that kind of thing, I'm definitely gonna untie the knots to make it look perfect. If I'm making it for myself, I might not care that much and just roll with it. It also depends on the type of mistake. Is it very noticeable, or is it something that only like a bracelet expert would notice? It depends on the type of bracelet. Is it a normal bracelet or is it an alpha? Because sometimes in alphas you can make mistakes, but then you can correct those mistakes quite easily. For example, I made this recently, which is kind of a spoiler for my wrap up of the month, but whatever. This is the first bracelet I've ever made on a sort of wooden dowel, but I think it looks really awesome. I made several mistakes here, which you probably can't notice. I missed an entire row here, and I also think I made some mistakes here. I don't actually remember, but I managed to fix them. Noticed that I made a mistake quite late in the game, and I managed to sort of fix the pattern up a little bit to make it fit the mistake that I made, so it doesn't actually look like I made a mistake at all. So it really depends, but generally I'm not against untying bracelets if I need to, and while I will be super frustrated and I will hate everything in the moment that I'm doing it, I'll probably put on some like chill music and spend those 30 minutes untying the bracelet, so I'm gonna go with that. And I actually don't know if you guys are gonna agree with me here. I have no no idea what you guys chose, because I feel like a lot of you wouldn't want to spend 30 minutes untying for a single mistake, but at the same time I know that a lot of you guys are perfectionists, so you might have chosen that. Let's see what you guys said. Oh, okay. So it's 58 to 42, 58 being untie it for 30 minutes. 940 versus 681. I'm actually quite surprised. I would have thought that more of you would say leave it in. Like, I know I just said that I wasn't sure, but I was sort of leaning towards you saying that, so I'm quite surprised. Would you rather have a string snap or run out of string? Contrary to popular belief, I don't really care if a string snaps or runs out, I guess. I mean, it's annoying, don't get me wrong, but I don't see it as a big deal. I get a lot of messages on Instagram saying like, oh, a string snapped, or I ran out of string, what do I do? How do I revive this bracelet? And it's not as big of a problem as a lot of you guys seem to think. You can just insert a new one. It's really not that big a deal, especially if a string snaps, you can just reinsert that same string back into the bracelet. And I have a video called Fixing Mistakes where I show you guys how to do that. I'm also going to be doing another video soon which will kind of showcase the same thing, but it's the same idea. You just tie in a new string. It's really not that big of a deal. I will probably say I would prefer it if a string snapped, which sounds terrible. I don't want that to happen, but out of the two options I think I prefer it if a string snapped, because if a string runs out on me, that usually means all of them are going to run out on me at the same time. It's very rare that one string happens to run out unless it's like an outline string, which is used a lot. Generally speaking, if one string starts running out, that means a lot of the other ones are going to start running out, and that means that you're going to have to reinsert a lot of strings, which is far more annoying than just reinserting one. So I'm going to choose the snapped version, and I think you guys are not going to agree with me here, so let's check. Yeah, so 65% of you would prefer to run out of the string than have it snap, which means you don't agree with me. And that is a ratio of 1041 versus 562 as of right now. Oh my god, it's so hot. It's so hot right now. Alright, let's head on to the next one. Would you prefer to make 100 string normal bracelet or a 100 string alpha? Super easy for me. 100 string alpha, 100%. That was so hard to say. It's like 5 times. Anyway, this one, the pattern for which is in the description by the way, was 52 strings. So 100 string alpha for me is going to be like that big. And I actually really want to do that. I genuinely really want to try making a really big alpha on a dowel. I'm going to talk more about it in my wrap up, but I've been wanting to for a really long time and I actually really want to do it. Whereas 100 string normal is going to be unnecessarily wide for a normal. Like if an alpha you can make it on a dowel and it can be like a wall hanging, what can you really do with a normal bracelet? Unless you make it as like a bookmark or something? I don't know. I definitely prefer the alpha. Let's see what you guys said. You guys do not agree with me. 100 string normal all the way. 58 versus 42 with 937 versus 679 as of now. I'm curious what patterns you have in mind. I'm curious why you guys said that. Like what patterns could possibly look good with 100 strings in normal? I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying it's much more rare to have a pattern to be 100 strings wide in a normal bracelet look good, whereas in alphas there's plenty of patterns that look amazing as like wall hangings and such. But I guess maybe more of you guys are just more comfortable with doing normal patterns and that's why you chose that over the alpha. Let's go on to the next one. Would you rather make bracelets with warm color combinations or cool color combinations? This one is also very sort of easy for me. I only ever really make cool color combinations in like wintertime where I'm feeling something like chilly. I much prefer warm color combinations. I don't know, I like them better, I guess. But I also like cool color combinations, so like I wouldn't necessarily, so it's not like a heavy opinion towards one over the other, but if I had to choose, I would definitely choose warm colors. Let's see what you guys said. You guys do not agree with me once again. It's 55% versus 45, and in numbers that is 904 versus 730 as of now. I mean, I don't really have much to say here, I guess everyone has their own opinions. I definitely prefer warmer color combinations. Would you rather have a bracelet full of cat hair or a bracelet full of mistakes? I feel like I don't even have the right to choose here because the choice has been made for me by the cats. As some of you may know, I am currently in Russia where I have 2 cats. Whether I like it or not, my bracelets now have cat hair in them and I have no idea how to get rid of it. All of the bracelets that I've made while I've been quarantined here have been hairy and it annoys me, but there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just choosing that one since the choice has already been made for me. Let's see what you guys said. Okay, it seems like most of you guys agree with me here with 79% being for cat hair. And as of now, that is 1,275 versus 346. That's understandable. I don't see why you would choose to have mistakes and wonky edges over cat hair, unless you're allergic to cat hair. Anyway, let's get on to the next one. Would you rather only make rainbow color combinations or never make the rainbow? As much as I love the rainbow colors, I would get so tired of making just that, so I'm gonna go with never making rainbow again, and that is sad because I really do like making rainbow bracelets. Boy, will I get sick of it. So I'm gonna go with that. Let's see what you guys said. Yeah, so you guys seem to agree with me with 64% being never make rainbow again, and that is 1044 versus 585. Alright, this next question is probably the one that I'm most interested to see your answers in, and that is, would you rather only watch my tutorials or only watch my fun videos? And by fun videos, I guess they meant like videos like this one that aren't tutorials and just talking about bracelets and like having fun. I guess for me that would be, would you prefer to film only tutorials or fun videos? For me personally, I would probably choose only filming fun videos. As much as I enjoy filming tutorials, the best experience I have is with these fun videos because I get more like human interaction with you guys, more feedback. I feel like I'm talking to you in the comments as well. So I enjoy these types of videos more in that sense. Also, they're much easier to edit. Editing tutorials takes forever and filming them takes forever as well. So I would probably choose the fun videos. Also, based on the fact that I've already made plenty of tutorials, I feel like by watching the ones that I already have available, you can make a lot of different bracelets and also learn how to read patterns and make a whole variety of different bracelets. I don't feel like they're needed necessarily. Although I'm still going to make them, like, don't freak out. This is just a would you rather question. I am still making both types of content, but in terms of this question, I'd probably choose the fun videos. I'm very curious to see what you guys said. And you guys do not agree, although it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it would be much heavier towards the tutorial side. At the moment, it's 58 to 42 with 909 and 654 on the other one. I knew you guys would be leaning more towards the tutorial side. I just thought it would be much heavier than it actually is, and it makes sense because most of you guys come to my channel to actually learn, and these fun videos are just like an added bonus to that, I guess. So yeah, it's good that this was just a would you rather question. I'm not actually planning to stop filming tutorials. In fact, I'm going to be doing more of them in the near future because I finally figured out how to film them from Russia. Would you rather watch YouTube/Netflix or listen to music or an audiobook while you're knotting? I do both, but just based on how much I do one over the other, I'm probably going to choose like videos because I generally watch either like YouTube videos or a TV show. I recently rewatched all of Avatar and I loved it. That being The Last Airbender, not the movie. It's probably my favorite TV show of all time. I love it so much. Anyway, let's see what you guys said. Yep, most of you guys agree 72 versus 28. And the numbers, that's 1142 versus 446. Most of you guys prefer watching videos, which I understand. Would you rather only use glittery strings or only use black, white, and grey? In my previous video that I actually just filmed, I said that black, white, and grey is a very underrated colour scheme, and I genuinely believe that. I think that just on its own, it's a really nice colour scheme, especially with like metallic greys. I think it looks really nice. But I also feel like black, white, and grey fit with most colours, really, so it's a really good colour scheme to have in combination with another colour. But I don't think I would have much fun just making black, white, and grey. And as much as I think only sparkly strings are going to be a lot to handle visually, I'm probably going to lean towards that because that just gives more of a variety of colours, I guess. Let's see what you guys say. I think you guys are going to agree with me here, but I may be wrong. Oh, okay. Well, that's unexpected. 50-50, exactly. Well, not exactly if you actually look at the numbers, but it's close enough. 781 for glitters and 791 for black, white, and grey, so it's slightly towards black, white, and grey. But it is pretty much 50-50. Look at that. I wasn't expecting that. That's pretty cool. All right, next one. Would you rather have tangled string all the time or miscount the number of bass strings? I would rather have tangled string because miscounting the number of bass strings is so painful. It basically means you have to either entirely rework the pattern to fit the number of bass strings that you have now, or throw it away and start from scratch, which sucks. So I'm definitely going to choose the tangled option because when your strings are tangled, you only have to really pick out one of them, the one that you are working with currently, to make the bracelet. You don't have to detangle all of it, you just have to detangle one at a time, and I'm okay with that. I do that all the time anyway because I tend to cut my strings too long, so I'm gonna go with that. And yeah, you guys definitely agree with me here. 85 versus 15, and that is 1279 versus 218 as of recording, which makes sense. And the last one here, would you rather have braided ties or twisted ties? Personally, I like the look of braided ties, but I heavily prefer twisted ties. I like them aesthetically more, I would say, but also just based on the fact that twisted ties are so much easier to make. Braided ties take forever, so definitely twisted ties for me. Let's see what you guys think. Yeah, as I see, you guys agree with me, 58 versus 42, and that is 894 versus 667 as of recording. So that was a fun game we played. I hope you guys enjoyed it too, participating on sort of the Instagram side, and thank you guys for submitting your questions. I really appreciate that. Might do a part 2 of this at some point if you guys want to see it. I definitely had a lot of fun and I enjoy this kind of interaction I have with you guys a lot. Before I go, I don't normally ask this, but I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. The channel is getting kind of close to hitting 100,000 subscribers, which is a pretty round number that I would very much like to have. And I know that around 70% of you watching aren't actually subscribed, so if you do consider subscribing, that would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys for watching, and I want to give a special thank you to my patrons and especially my top supporters whose names are going to appear on screen right now. Thank you guys so much for your support, and if you also want to become a patron, there is a link in the description where you can sign up and get exclusive perks for your donations. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!